Shadow of War is finally complete with all 2 expansions finally released, with the Blade of Galadriel being the main one that added more to Talion's story as his tale entwined with Eltariel's own, whereas the Desolation of Mordor is more of its own thing, exploring Baranor's personal story. So with all the story content released, we can finally put a full stop on Shadow of War's narrative and start talking about the possible direction Shadow of War sequel may take, which for the purpose of this video I will call Shadow of War 2, although I am sure the sequel will get a completely new name whenever it does start development within the future. When we reach Shadow of War's true ending after completing the Shadow Wars after years of Talion keeping Sauron's forces at bay with his army of resurrected orcs, we witness Talion finally giving in to the forces of darkness to become a Ringwraith, until many years later we see the demise of Sauron when Frodo and Sam finally destroy the One Ring. We go on to witness the death of Talion and see him removing his armor and weapons as he walks towards the light, which symbolizes he is finally at peace and his life has come to an end. Now we know that Eltariel and Celebrimbor teamed up against Sauron with the new Ring of Power, but ultimately failed when Sauron forced Celebrimbor to merge with himself as they both became the Flaming Eye atop of Barad-dûr. And during the ending of the Blade of Galadriel, it is confirmed that the blue light flying off into the distance was indeed Celebrimbor escaping, meaning he is very much still alive, which is a problem in itself since he practically just wanted to take Sauron's place as the Bright Lord rather than getting rid of the Ring of Powers altogether. We also see that Eltariel chooses to remain within Mordor as well as exploring eastern lands after she defeated Talion, in which he burst into green light only to reform in front of the Nine, taking his place among the Nazgûl. But fast forwarding back to the destruction of Sauron's ring, after so many years Eltariel still managed to survive and witnessed the escape of Celebrimbor once Sauron's tower fell. But the important thing to notice here is that Eltariel still has Celebrimbor's Ring of Power, and it is very much the new Ring of Power within Mordor. She even mentions that Celebrimbor is calling to the ring, which is pretty much setting up the sequel for a future game, with Celebrimbor taking Sauron's place as the new villain within Middle-earth, and Eltariel may very well be our new protagonist since she is the current ring bearer of the Ring of Power that was forged to match Sauron's own. This is the perfect opportunity for Monolith to branch off Tolkien's universe and truly make their own game using a whole cast of new characters in which they can have full control over, rather than upsetting fans by changing already established lore. So in a sense it will be a new world within an already existing world, in which they can take more of a creative liberty with. With the Desolation of Mordor also creating a nemesis system for humans this time, it takes the possibility for the next game's nemesis system to a whole new level, giving the player the opportunity to create an army of men as well as orcs this time. Thinking about this gets me in a whole nother level of excited. I also feel the purpose for the Desolation of Mordor's DLC was supposed to test how well human NPCs worked within the nemesis system, so Monolith could see how well we responded towards it, as well as testing how it worked on a tech level. Going back to Eltariel, she states at the end of the DLC that she is going to follow Celebrimbor's call to the Ring of Power, which is currently located on her hand, meaning it's pretty likely she is going to find him sooner or later. I personally think she should have just thrown the ring into the volcano and be done with it, but then there wouldn't be any sequel, would there? Anyhow, I believe she will end up losing the ring back to Celebrimbor and he will raise an army of orcs himself, while we will be able to create an army of men accompanied by some orcs as well as mercenaries, all bringing their own unique abilities and experiences towards the nemesis system. I mean, how cool would it be to have an army not limited to one race this time? We see in the Blade of Galadriel that Eltariel is able to recruit orcs by helping them and gaining their loyalty, which means she doesn't need the Ring of Power to gain an orc army. So if she does end up losing it, she can still gain orc allies. The Desolation of Mordor also shows us we can use coin to gather human mercenaries to our aid, so gameplay wise it is possible to have men and orcs within the same army. Adding to this, for the sequel, Men of the West will most likely come during the story elements of the game, as well as elven aid since Eltariel is under the command of the Lady Galadriel. Now this is all speculation, but using what the game and the DLC is showing us, it is all fairly possible to happen within a sequel for Shadow of War, with a super advanced expanded nemesis system. At the end of the day, what we know for sure is Talion is no longer alive. Celebrimbor has escaped and is free after the fall of Sauron and wants his ring back, as he is now the antagonist of the game. Eltariel on the other hand has the new Ring of Power and is about to begin her pursuit for Celebrimbor, meaning history is about to repeat itself within Middle-earth, just with different pawns on the chessboard this time. I personally don't expect the sequel for Shadow of War to come out anytime soon, as I believe Monolith may want to work on other projects after ending Talion's story with this game, although saying that we will most definitely get one within the future, maybe when the next generation of consoles roll out, as they have the power to do more with the Nemesis system. I myself would love a Lord of the Rings game like Skyrim, if that could ever possibly happen, but that's another topic for another day. Other than that, I'm PlayedByViks. I hope you enjoyed the video, press the notification bell for future content. Thank you for watching, take care, and I shall catch you guys in the next one.
I checked her underbits.
I have not forgiven your debt, Master Dwarf. Hey, I know where you live.
Well, at least I have a place to live, eh?
He's got me there.